and the bicarb is on the acidic side. So we can see that they're on both sides of the spectrum and the pH remains in the middle. So we could see that on day 1, on admission into ICU, there is homeostasis that is taking place, and his body is doing that on its own. Now, as we look at day 4 is found at the bottom of the table. The lab values on the bottom left-hand side of the table, we see that the pH is 7.36. The PCO2 is 49.6, and the CO3 is 31. Now, we could see that the PCO2 is on the acidic side, the pH remains within normal ranges, and we could see that the bicarb is on the alkalytic side. Again, his body is maintaining homeostasis. Now, as we further look at day 5, we could see that the pH is a bit on the alkalytic side, the PCO2 is within normal range, and the bicarb is a bit on the alkalytic side still, but there is a slight decrease. So we can see that his body is making headways towards moving with his ABGs towards the normal ranges. So now let's take a look at the clinical map. So our patient was in a road traffic accident. He was there for 12 hours after his accident, or sometime after his accident, before he was found and then taken into the hospital in Grand Bahama. From there, he was then transported over to PMH, and there were some things that occurred because of this. He was in the road traffic accident that caused trauma. This trauma led to injury of his spinal cord, and because of this injury to his spinal cord, it's a very significant injury that led to changes in his central nervous system as well as his hemodynamics. And because of this, there's special medications as well as special nursing management and considerations to be taken with our patient. So just a briefing on what neurogenic shock is. As you can remember from our lecture, shock would be when there's the drop in the blood pressure because of some reason. And with our case, the neurogenic shock, what happens is there was trauma that occurred, and because of this trauma, there's disruption in the central nervous system, and because of this disruption in the nervous system, there would be peripheral vascular dilation, like massive peripheral vascular dilation, vasodilation. There's inhibition of baroreceptors, and then there's impaired thermoregulation. Now, because of all of this, our patient experiences different things, and his body reacts differently to them. There's loss to his extremities in the motor function and vasocontrol. And when we took a look at shock in class, there was a table that Dr. Adderley presented to us. And let's take a look at this table again, where it starts off with the hemodynamics and neurogenic shock, where the arrows go up and down, starting with and there was a seesaw effect, where if cardiac output was up, the other was down, and so forth. So let's take a look at the cardiac output. As we already established, there's massive peripheral vasodilation, and because of this, there is a huge drop in the blood pressure, and the heart rate also decreases because the baroreceptors are inhibited. So the body isn't able to tell, oh, the blood pressure is low, let me increase the heart rate, so blood still is able to travel as it should throughout the body. So the cardiac output is decreased, the heart rate is decreased, and if the cardiac output is decreased, again at our seesaw effect, when the cardiac output is down, the systemic vascular resistance is up,